What are you on about today, little mama? She's being very silly. I didn't have my camera on. She challenged Muffin, or Puddin. Look, for you people that are new, that is Puddin. This is Muffin. I will call her everything but Puddin. Generally Muffin. Muffin, Puddin. When I call her anything other than Muffin, just, it is what it is. All right, so since we have new peeps all the time, and I like to do this from time to time because people ask, can you go through their names again? I'm trying to memorize them. So I appreciate that, and I like doing that. And it's easier now in the fall when there's only 24 and not 42 or 43, whatever we ended up with in the spring. I think it was 42 with all the babies. But I do a pretty good job of memorizing all the babies' names. Hi, Mr. Marlin. And sometimes people will say, like, hey, you know that goat you were petting, can you tell me what his name is? And I don't know which one you're talking about. So, hi. Oh, I see. You're in a mood. You better not be not pregnant. So, Wee Man here, the fluffy one, this little stuffed animal, just trying to steal my heart. But just so you guys know, his first option for a new home would be Lisa, who has Giz and Glitch, Lilo, Mater, and I'm probably going to leave somebody out. And I do apologize for that. So let's go around the room before it gets all crazy. This is Muffin. She is sister, actual litter mate, born from the same mother on the same day as Puddin. Puddin is the one I'm always talking about trying to become herd queen. So Puddin, if she becomes herd queen, she'll have this one as an enforcer. That's not going to work. You are Miss Muffin. You're too much of a sweetie. I'm sorry. This girl here is Licorice, pure black, like black licorice. This little Cou Blanc / Cou Clair, it's subjective anyway. This is Mochi. She's not gonna, hi Moch. And this is Moon Pie. Now I'm gonna give you guys some details, but I'm not gonna be able to do this for everybody. Mochi and Moon Pie we bought from the same farm, but they're not related. They were our little lice babies. You go back about a year or so ago, year and a half, and you'll see we had to quarantine them on the other side of the farm and give them lice treatment. The little beauties. Good morning. Hi. Sweet little baby face. This is Tootsie Roll, aka Tootsie or Toots. She is daughter of Licorice. I'm trying not to go in circles. So Tootsie Roll was daughter of Licorice, and Gummy Gumdrops, hi baby Gummy Gumdrops, was our one and only first and ever bottle baby. And I'm not gonna ever do that again unless it's necessary. But Gummy and Tootsie are actually sisters from different births from Licorice. So they are both Licorice's daughters. Tootsie Roll was born this year. Gummy was born last year. And then you have Sweet Mama Frosty. Mama Frosty is our only silver doe. She is a sweet little angel. Yes, you are. As you can see, she's angel status achieved. Look at that. Mama Frosty came with a baby. His name was Ferdinand. And Ferdinand went to a local farm here, a couple that's been buying, they call them our misfits, but I just, I love that they have a home there and they are treated extremely well and they're very well taken care of. Jen and Ray actually started a Facebook page called Ferdy Fans, F-E-R-D-I Fans, F-A-N-S, because everybody loved Ferdinand. He was such a little firecracker. Mama Frosty fostered President President Snow's mama died right after he was born. And Mama Frosty is such a sweet little angel that she actually adopted him with no blood smearing, no transfer, nothing like that. He just started drinking off of her one day, and she said yes, and she raised him through weaning, allowing him to drink. It was very nice because Ferdinand had just gone to his home. Somewhere around that time frame, Ferdy had just gone, and she was still in milk, and she fostered him, and I've never seen that ever once in my life. Just a random goat out of nowhere walks up, starts drinking. Now, we have learned since that if any of the other babies are interested in maybe a sip of milk while they're out in the field, Mama Frosty will accommodate. But that is President Snow. His mom was Ambrosia, Sweet Brosie. She passed. This is Marlin. Hi, Marmar. Or Marmar, as I call him, the little teddy bear. So that's Marlin and President Snow. There are 2 weather boys, which means they have been castrated, essentially. Testicles removed, so they are able to live with the girls without fear of impregnating them. So that's the 2 small boys. I'm going to need H to bring me back to level with that little turd, so I don't end up keeping him. I can't remember right now who his mama is, but I think it's actually Puddin'. I mean, that just because they look the same, though, doesn't mean they are the same. Let me see. Yes, it's Puddin' because he is actually Drummy Drumstick's sister, or brother. And that's Drummy. Drummy, literally maybe one of the cutest babies on the planet. Drummy Drumstick, daughter of Puddin'. Hi, you. And then you have Twinkie Pants. Twink is a Couclair. She is adorable. She is a sweet little angel as well. They're all little sweeties. But Twinkie is daughter of Sparkle. Now these 2 have... You gonna eat my finger? Yo. These 2 have this relationship that I've never really seen. Of course, it helps that we've never kept a goat. But we've kept Twinkie, Drummy, Tootsie, and Mississippi, aka Gucci, back there. And only Twinkie, and we'll get to you, and Sparkle have this relationship where they're inseparable. They walk out in the field together, they lay down together. Often when I come in the barn at night, they are, they're generally laying over here somewhere or in that stall, side by side. I've never seen that before. Lisa, thank you, by the way, for these gloves. If you guys are looking for a nice, these are super warm Milwaukee gloves. They're extra grippy, so I can just touch a goat and pick it up like Spider-Man. Anyway, no squirrels. So that's Drummy, Tootsie, and Twinkie. Now, Mississippi back there, aka Gucci. She's the one all the way back in the corner. Probably the most dynamic color pattern I've ever seen on any of our goats. She is daughter of Miss Muffin. Hi. And she is the same age as all these girls. And I don't know what it is, but Mom Milk is made her the size of a normal size goat already this year. And Toots is pretty decent sized as well. It's very interesting to me. I would have to go down the paperwork line and explain to you why she's so big, because I can't remember if she was a double or a single. I think she was a double or a triple, but I don't remember. But it matters when you have 4 babies eating off a mom or 3 babies eating off a mom versus 1. It really affects their size. So as you can see, she's the size of Drummy easily. So that is, wait, did I get it all backwards? Oh, good night. I got it all backwards. Mississippi, aka Gucci, is actually daughter of Puddin'. As you can see, she's getting her breakfast, which there's nothing in there. I just milked them. Which would make, oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Look, you cannot put that much cuteness together in the universe. It'll explode or implode, one or the other. Look at you. What are you strutting up on her? You can't have the two cutest babies in the barn headbutting. But okay, so that would make, I'm sorry guys, and I know I mix them up, but that would make Drumstick Muffin's baby. Good night. You'd think I'd be good at this. So I think that covers all the babies, which would also make Marlin Muffin's son. Why are you guys, leave him alone? It's like mean girls in here all the time. So Mr. Marlin, let me explain why he ended up in here. One, he never had a buyer. We never found a buyer for him when he was an intact male. And since I'm trying to do this for all the new people, Mr. Marlin was over with the boys, the big boys, and he was a tiny little thing, and they were roughing him up pretty hard. They were pushing him off of his food. They were harassing him, so he was basically just hiding under the buck barn. And then he wasn't eating, so he would sneak out and eat a little bit of hay, but he wasn't getting enough food, so he was getting real thin. Whoa, what are we doing? Whoa, are we running from something? I don't know if I was supposed to run or... Is that everybody? Oh, they're going to go out and eat. So I'll get the rest of the girls caught up in a minute. Ginger right here. Hi, Ginger. Give me some, here, give me some pets. I'll give you some pets so you'll stop. Gingy we bought last year when we were, after you guys discovered us and wiped out our soap. And we needed to have a bit of milk production coming in so we could continue to make soap. We bought her bred and she gave birth to Chuck Norris. Go back and watch, just look for Chuck Norris. Zioncreekfarm Chuck Norris. And she is, I call her the Eeyore of goats because she is quite literally the most chill goat I've ever seen in my life. I mean, this girl, your little angel. I also call her the soul starer because she will look you dead in the face like this. And she will get as close to your face as she possibly can. And she will literally stare into your eyes. And I've never had another goat do that. She'll just stare into your eyes. That's why I call her the soul starer. Miss Soul Starer. All right. What's happening is Puddin' is in heat. Muffin is kind of coming into heat. The girls kind of follow Puddin' sometimes. So she's over here trying to flirt with the boys. And so the whole herd is standing over there while she's flirting. And they're all just like, what? Why? What is happening? And why are we doing this? You can come back with me if you want, sweet little angel. She came about because I wanted a chamois goat, which is what she is. She's chamois, and I wanted a sham with no white. And I was, you know, we're kind of getting down to our unicorns, so I didn't want just any chamois. If we were going to get one, I wanted one with no white. She comes with an added benefit. She has no white, but she has moon spots, which is, I don't know if that's incredibly rare, but not seen many chamois with moon spots. A couple of her babies that she had prior to us getting her were these gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous spotted, all over kind of moon spotted babies. Absolutely stunning. All right, then we have the three troublemakers. I'll keep them in here. And Tic Tac. So we have Sprinkles. Sprinkles is the one I'm always telling you guys. She is actually she would actually look exactly like Mochi, but she has she has what is called like white overlay or abundant white. So she is completely covered up. She would look exactly like Mochi. And none of them are in here to show you. So that is Sprinkles. Her actual birth, her given name from the farm she comes from on paper is Pennywise. And that's because you're crazy. You're living up to your name, I guess. So that is Sprinkles. Tic Tac. Ticky is a sweet little angel, but she's also very, I don't know. There's times when she's super confident and she'll fight anybody in the barn. And then there's times when she's like this, where you could see she's a little bit nervous. She's staying back away from Sprinkles, especially. And Sugar Pie. I mean, you don't have to fight anybody. It doesn't have to be a fight every second of every day. She's just standing there. Why you hard-eyeing her like that? What's just... Good night. Sprinkles and Tic Tac actually came to the farm together. We bought them together. And then you have Sugar Pie. Sugar Pie is... She's just a big, quiet, confident girl. She just... In the background, she's a phenomenal milker. She's good at kidding, but she tends to only give a single or a double, which is no bueno for milk production and or for goat sales. We don't really care about the sales portion of it, but it's better for milk production if they have more than one. 2 would be perfect. 3 would be even maybe a little better because she would have to produce, her body would want to produce more milk to feed 3 babies than it would to feed 1. And then we have sweet. Okay, Cookie. And Cookie doesn't care. And that came about one day. We were over here doing something, and H just said, Cookie don't care. And then we kind of, because Cookie doesn't care. We bought Cookie with Brownie. Her sister's name was Brownie. And Brownie passed away. She was pregnant. We didn't know it. And it was a bad scenario. I don't want to go over it again. It was pretty dramatic, but she ended up with an infection and she passed from that, we believe. Cookie at that time, we only had, I think, 4 goats, which was Cookie, Brownie, Streusel, and Ganache. Ganache was a psychopath, like literally a psychopath. She wanted nothing more than just Streusel to look sideways at somebody so she could go beat the crap out of them. But Cookie, after losing her sister, she never really reconnected with any other goat in the barn. And she was very sad and she got very sick and she almost died. It was an extremely difficult period. We worked closely with the vet to make sure she was on the right track for his medicines and things like that. She lost almost all of her hair. And it was a daily battle. And here she is. So worked well, but Cookie still does not care. Do you? No. Bye, Felicia. You're such a weenie. But we say Cookie don't care because there are specific rules in the goat barn. The most basic is when the herd goes out, every goat goes out. When the herd comes in, every goat comes in. Cookie will literally go out in the field by herself, lay in the middle of the field for half the day, come back in when she feels like it. She has no concern for what the rest of the herd is doing. Hi. You guys waiting for Mama? And this is Streusel, Queen Bee. I always say she was in her prime. She was always just the most fair ruler of the barn. And to that end, even though she's struggling with her arthritis and she's not as confident as she used to be, well, I don't want to say that. She's every bit as confident as she ever was. She doesn't have the physical capability to fight as hard as she would in her prime. And that all said, though, she still holds massive amounts of respect in this barn. And there's no other way to say it. Just massive amounts of respect. These girls love her, respect her, bow down to her still, even though any of them could probably kick her butt if they really wanted to. What are you doing? You roughing me up? Oh, goodness. Good. I like it. I like to see that. But she'll still come over and mess with me from time to time, like today. You know, this isn't an everyday thing, but what are we doing? I love it, though. I love it. And okay, well, bite her, not me. I don't know what's happening. Are you coming in to eat? Why? Ow. But when I'm over here like this and I'm knelt down and I'm petting someone, she will from time to time just slip herself right between me and that other goat. And they just full respect walk away. They don't play that game of figuring out whether or not she can still give them a beating. Last but not least, the boys. And your boys are one of your most important things. Well, I'm gonna fall down. On or in your herd, because they're gonna be 50% of your bloodline. People make that mistake. They just go out and they buy a random boy. I'm not touching you. Yesterday, I touched you. You had pee right on your forehead. Yeah, it was gross. And then I had wet all over my fingers. I shared it with the girls. They didn't like your pee, so. But for the boys, we have Mr. Gelato, Jack's Gelato, aka Baby Jack number 2. This is Baby Jack number 1. H has always loved Jack. Jack was our first buck that we bought for the purpose of breeding and keeping a buck on our farm. And he came with, he didn't come with, we picked up him and Mr. Snickers. Mr. Snickers of the same day. And those two have been our solid breeding bucks for what? 2 years now, 2 rounds. But Jack passed away earlier this year, and Baby Gelato, aka Jack's Gelato, the little black buck that was just over there. Why do you guys go inside? I'm not bringing you more food. Way to your heart is with food, right? The morning Jack passed away, I was in the barn with him when that happened, and he waited for me, and it was incredibly difficult. I'm glad it happened that way, but I also wish it hadn't. That's selfish. It was easier on me if it hadn't happened that way, but I got to hold him when he passed, so it was kind of a little bit of closure. This little guy, who is his son, the only goat and the only buck in the barn that cared at all, walked up and put one foot on his dad and then just looked up at my face and just stood there and stared at me like freaking Lion King or something. It was ridiculous. And now that was my sign to keep that guy. So we have Jack babies to pass down his gene, but from 2 different moms. So that's a good blend there. I'm not touching any bits of you. No. This is caramel latte. You're just a total dork. And if you ever hear me talk about bangs, we used to call Jack bangs because Jack had these fabulous bangs, and he tends to pass them down to his babies. So if you look at a baby like this, you know, hey, that's one of Jack's babies because he's got those fabulous bangs. The same with President Snow. This little guy, I don't know if he's going to get bangs or not. He is also son of Licorice. And then we have Mello, aka Mel. His actual name is Ziomar. He is a stallion. He's one of our brown-eyed horned boys, so we can breed him to our blue-eyed polled girls. But Mel is just, he's kind of like the Genji of boys. He's just extremely, extremely mellow, very loving, very chill. And let's go find some. Are you just gonna not? Are you serious? You gonna make this difficult? Oh, Cookies and he, by the way, in case you didn't notice, her butt pressed against the fence. So this is Snickers, Mr. Snickers, I call him, or M. Schnickety. Sounds like something's killing one of my chickens. I'll need to run over there and see what's going on. So make this short and sweet. He's beautiful. He's a stallion. He comes from the same lineage as Puddin' and Muffin, but they're far enough separated that it's not a breeding concern. He's gorgeous. I think he has potentially 2 brain cells, and he doesn't react to anything until one of those bumps into the other one. You can be pretty and smart, or you can just be pretty and that's it. But no, he's a good guy. He's Rico Suave. He's the slowest, most irritating breeding buck we have. He likes to spend 15-20 minutes warming the girls up, or he thinks he's warming the girls up even though they're standing there saying, bro, I'm doing everything except your part, so let's get this done. But But he's a little sweetie. He's a kind of a touch-me-not goat. He doesn't want to be petted or loved on. He's missing a lot of hair on his neck because the boys are roughhousing. They're rubbing their heads on everything this time of year because the girls are in heat. Keeping an eye on it. See his bald spot back there? Probably not. He's going to look right at the camera. But you can see where he would normally have this big old mane that would match the rest of his floofy body and his ever so perfect beard. But that is it, guys. Thank you so much. And I do appreciate doing these for you guys. I try to do them from time to time just so all the new people can get familiar with the goats, know everybody's name, always understand that there's a fair chance I missed someone. And if I did, just shout me out in the comments. And if I see it, I will get back to them tomorrow. Go eat you some hay, ladies. It's a beautiful morning.